So I just got back from Sun and Fun down in Florida, and it was amazing. Imagine a show with virtually every aircraft known to man, from military to civilian to vintage. It was just an incredible experience. And I had a unique experience of my own while we were there. Now, this video isn't a guide to assembling a DOF Reality rig. I'm going to put links, if that's what you're looking for, down below. Instead, it's story time. So sit back and relax, and I'm going to tell you a tale of my adventure at Sun and Fun. Stick around. Welcome everyone to Get Your Game On, the channel dedicated to immersive gaming experiences, and boy do I have a story to tell you today. So the adventure starts on our trip. DOF Reality actually invited me down to Sun and Fun where they were demoing some of their motion platforms, and they asked me to come along to kind of help support that and help them get people in and out of the rigs and all that kind of stuff, which airplanes and motion simulators, what more could you ask for? Of course I said yes. Well, as it turns out, when I got down there, I was supposed to be basically sales support and there to answer questions. And it turns out that the coordinators team who was supposed to assemble our motion platforms before I got there didn't make it in. So I arrived to 3 piles of motion platform. I had one H6 and 2 H3s and 1 day to assemble them because the show started the next day. Now keep in mind, I am not a mechanic. I can turn a wrench, but for the heavy duty stuff, I usually turn to the master fabricator, Daryl Delac. Well, Daryl was nowhere to be found, but fortunately for me, my better half, Brenda Redding, was there. Now, she had planned to drop me off at the show, and she was going to go spend some time at the beach because she loves her beach days. Instead, she took one look at this mess and said, I can't leave you here by yourself. So my thanks go out wholeheartedly to Brenda. She stuck with me the entire day and helped me get these things assembled. And I can tell you, I have never assembled an H3 before. I've done my H6 with the help of Daryl, but that was years ago, and my H6 was a far cry from what they're offering now. Basically, every part and piece in this had to be put together individually, whereas the new units are really surprisingly easy to put together. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how easy or difficult it was for me to assemble the H6 and 2 H3s. And did I mention in only 1 day? So we dug right in, got started, and to make matters worse, I didn't have any tools except for the tools that came with the units, the tools that you would receive if you bought one of these. So I'm dealing with a wrench and some Allen head wrenches. I didn't have a ratchet. I had nothing. I was basically bare bones. Had I known I was going to be doing this, I would have packed a toolkit. But it's what I had to work with, so that's what we did. And what I can tell you is we actually were able to assemble the H6 and both H3s in a single day. I had to go through the instructions just like any new customer would for the H3s because I wasn't familiar with it at all. And what I can tell you and what surprised me, and I guess what I want to share with you today, was how much DOF Reality has really improved on not only the ability to assemble them and what they pre-assemble ahead of time, but also the instruction set and what they do to guide you through the assembly process. Again, that's all I had. And it was really nice to see the instructions were very clear, easy to follow. We didn't really use the assembly videos because they take too long to watch, so I went step by step on my cell phone through the instructions, and we managed to get all those units built in 1 day. And there were a few inaccuracies on some of the bolt lengths because they've done so many changes that there were a few times when I looked and the bolt size that was listed in the instructions wasn't quite the bolt size that they needed. But that was kind of falls under the common sense rule. If you put the bolt in the spot and there's no thread showing, you know it's a little too short. And if you put it through and the threads are really, really long, you know it's probably too long. At the end of the day, we had all the bolts we needed to put them together. They just weren't quite documented exactly in the instructions 100% correctly. So just use your common sense and you'll be fine. So what I can tell you is from this experience, number one, I was quite impressed that Brenda and I were both able to get these done in time. Again, I don't have a lot of mechanical expertise. I can turn a wrench, but I don't consider myself a mechanical whiz by any means. But it all went together very well and tightened everything up nicely, and they ran for the whole show. All 3 units, as soon as I powered them up, started right away. We didn't have to go back and correct anything. We didn't have to go back and tighten anything, and they ran the entire week without having any issues. So again, kudos to Brenda for helping with that, and it was just a pretty proud moment to see all 3 machines running and knowing that I had a pretty significant part of doing that. So anybody that's been out there kind of thinking about a DOF Reality machine, but you're a little trepidatious because you don't know how hard they are to put together, what I can tell you is don't worry about that. If you can put together IKEA furniture, you can put together one of these motion platforms, no sweat. And as far as time goes, like I said, if you're only going to be putting together a single unit, if you plan a weekend, you should be able to get the unit built, up and running with all your HOTAS and all the software installed within a weekend without any issues. And the great news is if you do run into problems, again, there's great guides online, there's video tutorials, and worst case scenario, you can get a hold of DOF and they'll be more than happy to help you. So that was the video I just wanted to put together for you folks. I wanted to let you know if you have been concerned about the assembly process of a DOF Reality rig, they are amazingly easy, and I was shocked at how well it went together. Now, if you're interested in one of these platforms and you want to help the channel out, please remember we do have an affiliate link down in the description below. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it really helps the channel out. If you're going to order one and you use that link, it helps us out, and you have my thanks in advance. I do appreciate it. So I also want to thank everyone who has used the affiliate link in the past. I have seen you guys and your orders that have come in, and again, much appreciated. So I do need to send a thanks out to one other individual. Calvin from Pimax was at the show with us. He was in charge of setting up all the software and the VR headsets, and he really helped us out back in the booth, helping people get in and out of the experiences, starting the experiences properly, and just overall helping us with anything we needed. Calvin, you didn't need to do that, but Igor and I both really appreciate the fact that you were there and willing to help. And what I can say is, if Pimax can instill that work ethic that we saw from Calvin throughout the company, then you will be well on your way to being a company to contend with. So again, thank you, Calvin. We really appreciate the help. So that's basically what I have to share with you today. We're going to have a few more videos coming on the channel about some of my other experiences that I had Sun and Fun. I got to test some of the Moses stuff a little bit. I got to use a few other things. And I'm going to share my thoughts with you on what I saw. So stay tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any of that. And until next time, remember to get your game on.